Have you ever really stopped to think about where soil comes from? I mean, it's just dirt, right? Well, today we're going to dive into a process that honestly sounds like something straight out of a fantasy novel. We're talking about how something as soft as a fungus can break down solid rock and transform it into the very foundation for all life on land. I love this quote because it really captures the vibe of what's happening. This isn't some loud, dramatic, explosive event. It's this quiet, patient, but incredibly powerful transformation that's happening right under our feet, all the time.
And that's the big question, right? It just seems impossible. How can a soft, tiny organism take on a solid boulder? Well, it turns out nature has equipped these little guys with some truly remarkable and kind of sneaky tools. So let's unravel this mystery together.
To really understand how this all works, we're going to start small. We're going to follow the journey of a single fungal spore, a true pioneer, landing on a totally barren, rocky surface. So just picture this. Our tiny spore, carried by the wind, lands in a crack on a boulder. So small you probably wouldn't even see it. It just needs a little bit of moisture, and then it awakens. These super thin threads, they're called hyphae, start to creep out, like tiny little exploratory arms. And they don't just hang out on the surface. Nope, they immediately start to invade, pushing deeper and deeper into the stone, hunting for minerals. Okay, so our spore has a foothold, but what is it actually doing down there in the dark? This is where things get really cool. Let's look at the tools fungi are using for this incredible act of creation. Fungi have this brilliant two-pronged attack. It's awesome. First up, you've got the chemical assault. They release these special organic acids that basically act like a slow, patient chemical drip, literally dissolving the minerals in the rock. But at the same time, they're also using pure brute force. As those fungal threads grow and expand, they exert an incredible amount of pressure from the inside, physically wedging those tiny cracks wider and wider open. It's a chemical and a physical attack all at once.
And that brings us to this key term, hyphae. You gotta know this word. These aren't just simple little threads. Think of them as the multi-tool of the fungal kingdom. They explore, they absorb nutrients, and, like we just saw, they apply that physical pressure that helps fracture solid stone. These threads are the absolute engine of this entire process.
But here's where the story gets even more fascinating. Fungi, they rarely work alone. They are masters of collaboration, and they have an ancient, incredibly powerful ally in this whole world-building project, plants.
This amazing partnership is called mycorrhiza. It's a beautiful symbiotic relationship where those fungal hyphae connect directly with the roots of a plant. And this alliance, it dramatically speeds up the whole process of making soil. It creates this super-powered underground network for finding and extracting nutrients. So what's the deal they make? This table lays it out perfectly. The plant, which gets its energy from the sun through photosynthesis, trades away its sugars. That's pure energy, giving them to the fungus. And in return, the fungus uses its special rock-dissolving superpowers to break down stone and provide the plant with essential minerals, stuff like phosphorus and nitrogen that the plant just can't get on its own. It is a perfect trade, and both sides win. Okay, so we've been looking at this super zoomed-in, microscopic process. Now let's pull the camera way back and appreciate the planetary scale impact of all this. This isn't just about one fungus on one rock. It's about building entire worlds. And you know, this isn't a new thing. Fungi have been patiently grinding down stone and building up soil for hundreds of millions of years. They were some of the very first architects of life on land, basically getting the world ready for all the complex plants and animals that would eventually follow. Let that one sink in for a second. It's a pretty stark and powerful statement, but it's true. Without this slow, silent work happening for eons, our planet would look totally different. Those rich soils that grow our forests and our food, they just wouldn't be here. So, okay, why does any of this matter to us today? Well, it's pretty central to everything. At its core, this process creates the foundation for every land-based ecosystem on the planet. It provides the nutrient-rich soil all plants need to survive. And now we're actually learning how to harness this power. Gardeners use these fungi to improve bad soil, and on a much bigger scale, scientists are exploring how to use them for massive eco-restoration projects. All right, let's bring this all home for our final thought. The next time you're walking outside and you look at the soil, I want you to remember you're not just looking at dirt. You're looking at the incredible ancient masterwork of these patient architects. And that's really the core takeaway here. This is a story of transformation. It's a reminder that some of the most powerful forces in nature aren't the fastest or the loudest, they're the most persistent. Fungi are the secret architects of our world, turning inanimate stone into the stuff of life itself.
So I'll leave you with this to chew on. We've just uncovered one secret, world-shaping force that's happening all around us. But it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other incredible, invisible processes are quietly at work, shaping our world in ways we haven't even begun to imagine yet?